Hello, Brian Scott here, Mystic Skull Photography. I had bought, actually 5 months to the date. I bought this camera on Temu, and I enjoy it very much. I'll get into that a little bit there. This is a toy camera. This is a toy camera. We could talk about what is a toy camera. There's a lot of debate. Um, but certainly, while these are not like a Hoga, super basic, they are still digital. They are digital, but they are still in the toy camera range. But past that, they diverge. The Camp Snap, even though it is made in China, is I believe they are an American or a Canadian company. And they have a whole history of how this camera evolved. They created the look. As they put out the camera, it evolved. The customer said, "We want this, we want that," and they pretty much did what was demanded of them. That's the Camp Snap. This, though, while a toy camera, it diverges in that it's actually what's called a scamera. Use the word scam and camera and put them together. We'll get into what makes a scamera in a minute. Um, I had bought this because just for the looks, and I'm thinking, well, when I started photography again, I hadn't done photography in about 30 years, and you know, I couldn't afford. Well, I want a Fujifilm, but yeah, I could afford. I think at the time, I want to say this was $20, maybe 22. I 5 months ago, who knows what happened, but so I bought it, and I really enjoyed this camera. Now, what makes a scammer, and what is a scam? Like I said, it's the word scam and camera put together. So while there's always that exception to every rule, for the most part, almost all scammers come from China. The way the market is today, the vast majority of cameras are either made in China or Japan. Japan does the high-end stuff like Fujifilms. Most cameras from Japan are going to be in the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. China, you have maybe, can be anywhere from $8 or whatever, very low. Some of the scammers, they can go into several $100. Um, Yoshikawa, whatever their name is, they put out a $300. What's basically a scammer. So, how do you know? First, no name. They do not name their cameras. You're not going to get a Canon. You're not going to get Fujifilm. You're not going to get. I've only found one scammer that had an actual name attached to it. Um, Also, who makes it? In this camera, when you look at the information on the pictures, it's a company named General Plus, but when I look this up, they don't make cameras or something very separate, different from that. And when you look up the name on the picture, this doesn't have a name, it has a serial number. And that happens very often with scammers. They'll have a serial number. Or they'll name them something, but the name is not anywhere else, right? It's not on the box. It's not. Um, so you have it made in China, no name, or and very rarely a company that will admit that they made it. Um, and you'll see, like, for instance, here, this says, 64 megapixels. There's no way this is 64 megapixels for 20 bucks. This is probably 5 or 6 of that. So you have, um or and also they'll tell you things like, "Oh, it has video when it doesn't," "This one does." So, this one has a flip screen, but, oh, and I'll tell you a little story. When I first got it, I was putting the SD card in, and I put it in upside down, and it went right into the camera, and it was you could hear it clinking around. I had to literally take off the back to get the SD card back. Uh, so cheap. But scameras, you say, "Well, why did you buy another?" So this one gave up the ghost. 5 to the day, 5 months later. And it had been having little issues here and there, little hiccups. And I don't know, it was just excuse me, it was the camera and the SD card kind of went out at the same time. So I don't know, what that's all about, but why would I buy another one? The interesting thing about scammers is that they'll just do whatever the fuck they want. They have no shame in what they do. And I love that. On this one, besides the when I take this around, I haven't done any street photography with it, but I would take it out and eventually, and somebody will see it. It just draws attention. Everybody is like, so maybe that might not be good for if you want to do covert photography, but it's just one of those things that everybody loves this. It's like, what a weird camera. But so anyway, um, what I love about this camera though the most is that it has a very unique black and white look. Now, I made a print and I actually made it more traditional black and white because somebody wanted it black and but the camera does it has a little bit of a blue tint to it. And I don't see that in any of my other cameras. I mean, I can there's one that has like a cineo type, but it doesn't have the look of this. Um, the pictures are dreamy and kinda hazy. That even like another cheap camera, you just don't see. Um, and I don't have but the Vivid one is also just the opposite. They're very odd colors. Um, and when I posted them there's a Reddit group for toy cameras, everybody loved it. So, for that reason, and I've been trying to think, what could I do with it? I don't think there's really much I can do with it. I think I'm going to be chucking it. Just going to be thrown away. And the SD card because I have a feeling one led to the other's demise. Um, so with all that said, I bought another one. So let us open it. Now I thought about the color. I think I, because I do kind of like to go covert sometimes. I I chose black this time. So let's see here. Maybe they actually gave it a name this time because it's really interesting. 5 months is a lifetime in the scammer world. Who knows what they've done? I've seen that. I had another Scamera, uh, and one of my favorites. This one has it's the W&O. This is the one that has the name Little Star Q10. So I bought another one, the Q8, or maybe it's backwards. I don't know which way it was. but the other one looks completely different, but it's still the same camera. The bones are all there. So, but they had renamed it, right? And, changed it around. Um, yeah, I'm not seeing any names on this. Now this is, of course, the one I have now, this color, but, this is the one I or should be. It says it has Wi-Fi. Apparently the Wi-Fi, somehow it's connect I there's you had to scan a QR code, and it never worked. So, anyway, it never worked. So, yeah, there's, Wi-Fi, but it doesn't work, and, um, anyway, just very unique pictures to take with this, and there's just an ease about the pictures, um, while it doesn't have a shutter, the shutter speed is really nice too, alright? So, oh, and there's no way it's 4K. Um, it does do video, but it's very, not good. Okay, so there's your USB, cable to transfer and also to, charge the battery, a linear. Oh, they got I'm impressed it came with instructions this time. Alright, I'm impressed. Alright, here we go. Yeah, that's nice looking. Now, I am noticing, hopefully it has um it's supposed to come with a SD card. I do not see an SD card in it. Oh, such a shame. Luckily, I do have an SD card to put, well, you know what? That looks like might be a micro. Oh, that is interesting because yeah, that's definitely a micro. I have one, but I shouldn't have to use it. All right, so we'll look and see. Somewhere I'm supposed to have an SD card. Um, so what I called this, because there's no name to it at all. The company, which is not their real name either, is called General Plus on when you go to the photographs information. So I call this the General Plus camera. Now you know. If you want to see pictures from this, I have them on the Flickr account, and I have some of them on somewhere on the Mystic Skull Photography. Um, and I also post on the Nostalgia Camera Club. All right, so that's it. The General Plus Scamera. Until later.